Hi there, Santa Fe owners. Today in your 2022 Hyundai Santa Fe, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install Curtz 4-pole flat trailer connector vehicle wiring harness. And this is what our harness looks like when it's installed. It has a dust boot that comes with it to keep it protected from moisture, and you can use that dust boot to secure it around the safety chain loop on your hitch. We do also have 4-pole brackets available here at etrailer though, so you can get those and install them onto your hitch. This particular hitch has a bracket on it that's designed for accepting a 4-pole bracket. Our customer didn't purchase one, but they are a little bit more convenient than just having it hooked on here. But this works just fine. If you don't have a welded-on bracket, we have no drill brackets also available, so you can clamp those around your hitch to give you a location to mount a 4-pole bracket. Let's take a look at our 4-pole connector here though. If we take off the dust boot end, we can see we've got 4 pins there. And that's going to be our ground, tail light, left turn, right turn, and you get your brakes out of the same left and right turn signals. So this is going to provide us with all the necessary lighting signals that we need in our trailer to keep us DOT compliant in all states. One of the things that I really like about this harness though is that it has a module that's integrated into the harness. So when we plug this into the factory connector on our trailer here, the module monitors the signals that's coming from our vehicle for our left turn, right turn, brakes, all those things. It monitors those. And when it sees those signals, it reproduces the signal here on our 4-pole flat trailer connector. If there's any faults on our trailer, the module has the opportunity to detect that fault and shut the circuit down. In the event it's unable to shut the circuit down in time, there is a dedicated fuse that's in line in this harness. It would open up the fuse to prevent any issues occurring on your vehicle. You can then just repair the issues with your trailer, replace the fuse in your harness here, and you're back up and running once again. Now that we've covered some of the features of our wiring harness, why don't you follow along with me and we'll show you how to get it installed. This is an extremely easy harness to install. There's a factory connector right underneath the vehicle here that we're going to show you where it is and how to get to it. If you're installing a hitch, I would recommend doing both at the same time because you're going to have a similar components removed to be able to access that connector. It's something you could probably do in your driveway on the ground in about 20 minutes. We'll begin our installation here underneath the vehicle. On the driver's side, we've got a cover here, and we'll find our connector that we're going to plug our harness into right underneath this. So there's 3 push pins. We'll take a flat bladed screwdriver, and there's kind of notches in this in like a plus shape. Just choose any one of those notches, push your screwdriver in the notch and give it a little bit of a twist, and that'll pop the head out, and then you can just pull it right out of there. Now that we've got those removed, there are 2 plastic nuts that hold it in place, and you're going to need a 14mm socket and a pretty good extension as well. You'll have one here, kind of where this is cut out, and then also right here on the other side where it's cut out straight up. Now these plastic nuts don't really like to unthread like your typical nut does, so we're going to put that on there, and then we're going to give a slight downward pressure as we remove this, and that'll zip right off of there. Same thing with this one. We'll get lined up on there, a little bit of downward pressure, and that'll just come right off of there. We'll set this aside. And now behind our panel here, this is our factory connector that we're going to plug into right there. It does have a little dummy plug on the end, protecting the pins from any kind of moisture damage. So we're going to press it on the release tab and then slide that cap off of there. We can set that aside. We won't need that anymore. We'll now take our new harness that comes in our kit with our module on it here, and this end right here will plug directly into that factory connector. So we're just going to put it in there, make sure that they click into place. There we go, we heard the click. I always like to just give a little tug the outwards, make sure it is snapped in, it's not going to come off. Everything looks good there. You'll notice there's a fuse you'll need to insert here. We can go ahead and insert that fuse now because there's no more wiring really to do. At this point we just need to zip tie up our wires and bring it over to our hitch. So we'll take the 15-amp fuse that comes in our kit, we're going to slide it in the fuse holder, and then just cap that down. At this point now, we can take our wiring, we're going to route it over toward the center of our hitch. So now we'll take the dust boot, we're going to slide it over the 4-pole end here. And then if you look in the head of the dust boot, there's a single hole that goes over the exposed prong there. And what we're going to do is we can take it just like this, loop it around our hitch, and that'll hold it in place where we need it. Now at this time now, you can mount your module and zip tie up your wiring. You do get a double-sided adhesive pad included in your kit for mounting the module, but for demonstration purposes today, we're not going to be using the double-sided adhesive. We're just going to zip tie this into place. But if you were going to use the double-sided adhesive, I would recommend putting it in about this location here. This is a nice smooth area. At home, you can take some alcohol and a rag and just clean up the area here where we're going to mount it. You can then clean up the backside of your module, put that double-sided adhesive on, and stick it to both the module into here, and it'll fit in this area very nicely, tucked up behind your panel, and you can zip tie up all your wiring. Now again, we're not going to be using the adhesive for demonstration purposes. I'm just going to zip tie up my wiring over here to the back. So now we're just going to zip tie up all of our wires here, keep our fuse and all that hidden behind the panel. And we'll take the 4-pole wiring here and zip tie this up as well. Keep everything nice and neat. And now we can just reinstall our panel here. With these nuts, you don't even need to tighten them down. They just push back into place, these plastic style ones. So just line those up with the studs, give it a push. That'll hold those up. And just get your tabs here lined up there and reinstall your push pins. At this point, we're ready to test everything out. You can plug into your trailer to verify everything's working properly, but I highly recommend a tester like we're using here. You can get one like this here at eTrailer, because if you have any faults on your trailer, when you go to test your wiring, some signals may not work if there's a short. So a tester like this will verify that the vehicle side's working properly, so when you do plug into your trailer, if you got any issues, you know the issues on the trailer side. Verify you have your left turn signal, right turn signal, tail lamps, and brake lamps. And with all of our signals working properly, we're ready to hook up to our trailer and hit the road. And that completes our installation of Curt's 4-pole flat trailer connector vehicle wiring harness on our 2022 Hyundai Santa Fe.